before we get into like the obvious discussion about Avengers, because that's like the only thing.
No. You cannot mention that right off of the beginning because people will be warded off. We will not be
everyone is
mentioning
Yaman.
any
They don't
spoilers.
fucking shoot
Shut
their
the fuck
phone
up.
at the moment,
dude. Okay, I could not get tickets for a real like genuine seating until like I don't know 3 days after it came out. So it's not surprising that people would be clamoring to get seats 6 or 7 days afterwards. So I don't think it's weird to like save spoilers for this long.
No, not at all. Like, I'm totally fine with spoilers and whatever, but the lengths to which people will go is kind of funny.
You're stupid.
You'll fucking jump off a building if someone's like telling you a spoiler.
Dude, this is the culmination of what, 11 years of filmmaking?
Yeah.
So I understand it. Yeah. I wanted to fucking strangle the person I was sitting next to the entire movie. It was ridiculous.
Did you end up getting a good seat? What was the
It was situation? A great seat. I mean, it was reserved seating, so it was those lounge chairs that recline and incline. And it was AMC Cinemax 8 or whatever fucking bullshit.
Yeah, I remember which one.
It was a person that I had never hung out with before, and I was just like, yeah, I'll just fucking hang out with this person. They turned out to be, I really do sound like I'm drunk, but to be the most obnoxious, annoying human being on the fucking planet. And they connected telekinetically? No, not telekinesis. Telekinesis is like lifting things up with your brain.
Yeah, telepathically.
Telepathically connecting with another person to their left who was equally annoying, and they just like started talking a bunch. I think I leaned over to ask them politely to stop talking.
Yeah.
The person that I brought with me.
Yeah, that's what I was...
To shut the fuck up.
Like what?
And they didn't at all.
What is the... Wait, how did you meet this person? This is the first time you've ever met them?
Tinder.
Oh, okay. That's crazy. Did you just walk out and leave them after that?
Dude, I actually genuinely considered I could just buy another ticket for a different viewing and tell them I'm in the bathroom.
Oh, shit. You could. Or you could
literally
just walk
I was their ride to the theater, so it wasn't going to work out. There's no way I could do it. I don't know.
What were they doing that was annoying? Were they like speaking in like full sentences, being like, "Ha, yes, that is Captain America."
Every time Chris Evans was on screen or any female protagonist was on screen, they would be like, "Yes, boo," or like, "This is literally not me being a piece of shit." It was literally just exactly what they said, and every time it was Chris Evans, it was just like they were creaming in their fucking jeans. It was so obnoxious and loud. It was like, shut the fuck up. I hate you so much. If they listen to this in 3 years because they're a dumb fucking idiot and they have no idea how anything works, fuck you.
What happened afterwards? You blocked this person?
No, afterwards it was dumb, stupid head, and I was just like, same, bro. I don't know.
Finally, someone who speaks my language.
And if he ever sees this, I mean, he has the same opinion about me. So neither of us have, offended each other because we both have the same opinion.
You both hate each other.
Also, I've been feeling my head a lot because
you got that haircut. You got that fresh buzz.
Oh my God, this feels so good.
I need to go get a haircut now.
I feel like like a new man.
You're like a sheep.
Also, I've been killing a lot of people in Titanfall.
Oh, you back on the Titanfall?
Titanfall 2. I haven't played video games in like 6 weeks. And then we started talking to each other again, and I was like, oh yeah, video games exist.
Yeah.
I honestly do feel like I'm drunk at the moment.
It's like I feel like people did this a lot in high school before people could actually drink. But they would just like work themselves to death because
awake?
no, well, yeah, stay like pull all nighters and then just be like, I'm not drunk, bro. I'm just so tired. And like it was like a weird like badge of honor thing. Like they would like brag and like talk about it, but just because they wanted to like talk about how hard they worked and stuff. And I was like, okay, that's cool. But if you have to pull an all nighter all the time, like you're probably wasting a lot of time and doing something wrong. So
can I rant a little bit if you don't
please
mind?
Do.
I don't care if you don't mind at all.
Fuck you.
If you're going to the movies, I don't care if you're seeing the worst movie ever created. If you're seeing Man of Steel in theaters, I don't give a shit. Shut the fuck up in movie theaters. You are not interesting or funny, and you have no place to be talking. Shut the fuck up. You are not funny or interesting. There is nothing about you and your stupid meatbag body that is worth spewing nonsense in a venue where I paid to occupy. There is nothing about you that is worth my money. You stupid fuck. Shut the fuck up. You're trash. You're nothing. I hate you so fucking much. If you speak at all, if you're speaking, it better be during the previews, the trailers, anything. Ads, I don't give a shit. Trailers, even, I don't give a shit. But if the movie we're seeing is, like, there's literally a queue, isn't there? For each movie that you see, it's like the screen widens literally. Like you can hear the gyros or whatever the fucking called. Like you can hear the machinery working, and the thing widens. Like the screen widens, and then the lights dim, and it's just like, oh, that's the cue for everybody to shut the fuck up. And people still don't do it. What is wrong with you? I hate you so much. I want to beat you to death with a shovel. I've told you about my shovel thesis, right?
You keep saying shovel, yeah.
Dude, some people just need to get hit in the face with a fucking shovel. I hate you so much. Yeah, that's all.
You sounded like Clint Eastwood when you were like, the space I paid to occupy. I was like, Jesus, this is coming from like God himself.
How is that Clint Eastwood at all?
I don't know, like an angry boomer.
What?
Whatever. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna fight you.
Wait. What? No. Circle back. What are you talking about?
You sounded like an angry like boomer type.
How is that at all Clint Eastwood? He's crazy.
Well, yeah, you'd have to be yelling at a chair for that to be the same thing.
Also, can you explain to me, since you've just referenced that, what did he do? Like, he talked to a chair? What was that?
For some reason, at like one of the Republican national conventions a couple years ago, they brought him on stage, Clint Eastwood, famous Republican in Hollywood, and I don't know why or like what the context was, but I think it was like a metaphor, and he just ended up talking at a chair and like saying shit about how much he loves America and like what's wrong with it. I don't really know. It was very bizarre though. It turned into like a early meme, but that's kind of the first sign that people were like, oh yeah, Clint Eastwood might actually be crazy. So yeah, fuck that guy.
That was the first sign.
Yeah.
You know what's more disappointing than Clint Eastwood's son?
Scott Eastwood, legendary actor.
Pacific Rim 2.
I never saw that movie.
It was so fucking bad.
I do want to fight with you a little bit on the not talking in the theater thing. In like 99% of instances, I would agree with you 100%. But when you are...
Are you a clapper? Are you a theater clapper?
Slightly. I'm a light clapper.
You're garbage! You're the worst! I hate you!
Listen to me, Pat. This is not
Don't
fucking...
call me Pat. You're not my friend.
Patrick. Listen to me here, pal. This is not fucking Schindler's List, all right? This is not like premier art house cinema. this is an event movie, right? So 11 years, you said this before we started recording, 11 years, 22 movies. People have waited forever for this shit, for the payoff that happened at the end of Infinity War where everyone fucking died. And I'm not going to talk about spoilers yet, so don't worry. I'm not trying to freak anyone out. But when exciting things happen on screen, like people have a lot of emotion invested in this movie more than they would like any other movie possible. And obviously, it's a big superhero movie. It's a spectacle. We've talked about how much fan service is in this movie. Not in a bad way, in a great way. So in this particular setting, I think it's fine for people to get excited, to laugh out loud, to clap when something cool happens, you know. I can understand it's annoying because then you like maybe miss a line or something. That happened to me, and I was like, oh man, I wish I'd heard that. But I know I'm going to see this movie like a million times, and I can just watch it quietly after this. Like the first time I go, it's fun to like be with a crowd that's getting like amped up. It's almost like you're at a fucking like sports game or some other like live event where other people can just like yell and like whatever. But and it's not even that bad. Like most of the time during the quiet scenes of the talking, whatever, everyone's like perfectly well behaved, shut up, no one's being obnoxious. But when cool stuff happens, perfectly warranted to like cheer, or, like, you know, gas, whatever, audibly react. Like that's fine. Like I thought it was like it added to the experience, if anything, because I don't know, it felt more involved. I dug it, but I can understand if you don't like that. I know a bunch of other people on Reddit I was reading like hate that kind of stuff. But this is the one kind of movie I would say that I'm like okay with the crowd like reacting and stuff. But I don't know. I don't hate it as much as you do. I actually like get a lot out of it.
I hate it so much. I hate it so much.
If it kept happening, like the second time, third time,
you would have been infuriated. I feel like.
I was in a pretty loud theater, though, I feel like.
No, I feel like, based on your description, you were in a theater where it lined up with your feelings. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, this is an intense moment. the crowd is agape. And then it comes to a hilarity moment. And then it's like, haha, oh my God, that's funny. And then it came to a like, yeah moment. And people are like, yeah, that's fucking awesome. Mm-hmm. But for me, it was a bunch of fucking cunts being loud as fuck for no reason in completely inappropriate points in the movie. It was so infuriating, and you would have hated it. I promise you.
Okay. Like someone eats food, and they're like, yes!
I cannot.
Yes!
Yeah.
That's fine.
The Yas Boo shit happened
that's annoying.
More times.
I'd be mad about that. I think it's also because of the
I
person
wanted
you
to
went
fucking
with.
chloroform this motherfucker and snap his neck and then fucking swanton bomb him through a table. I hated him so much. Jesus fucking Christ.
Is swanton bomb a wrestling move?
Yes, it is.
I'm gonna look. I'm adding this to my mental knowledge of wrestling.
I don't know how to spell it, and I don't know what the words are exactly. I think it's swanton bomb.
Yeah, best Jeff Hardy swanton bombs.
Dude, literally the attitude adjustment or the fucking 619. On any of them, I would have loved to do that to this motherfucker. And also, the thing I mentioned before, which was he did something, and then immediately the person next to him on the left would immediately react to that and laugh or like contribute more to the loudness. And I just wanted to fucking dual wield these two idiots into the fucking floor and just have them be knocked out for the rest of the fucking thing and just be the hero of this theater. And there was also this jackass in like the back right. I don't know what his deal was, but he loved calling out things before they happened. He was God. I bet that's Iron Man or fucking whatever. It didn't matter. That was not a spoiler at all. I'm just like mentioning something generic. He would always just like say things, you know, oh, I bet that's Thor Hammer. It's like, shut the fuck up. It's not even a spoiler for me that this is like annoying me. It's just like, stop talking loud enough where I can hear it. I want to come back there, rip a seat off the floor that is bolted to the floor, and just beat you to death. I hate you so fucking much. You are the scum on the floor of humanity. I hate you so much.
There was one dude in my theater. I've been watching the Swanton Bomb video for like 2 minutes now, and it's incredible.
It's pretty fucking intense, right?
Pretty fucking just like jumps onto anything he can and like does a flip and just like lands his ass on this dude.
What I'm really thinking of is a choke slam,
yeah,
which is basically just lifting someone up by their throat and just like bam, like bring them all the way down, like their full body, like by their neck down to the ground. That is pretty much what I'm thinking of, like what I want to do. Like chloroform on the mouth, transfer to the neck, and then just
There was one dude in my theater who I told you about this. It was like whistling. You know, like whistled once and it was really loud. And also like a really bad whistle. It sounded like he was struggling.
Yeah. Like he couldn't whistle at all.
Yeah. And then everyone was like, ugh. And then it happened again shortly after, but this time like his whistle broke because this guy's bad at whistling, and someone next to him told him to shut up. Yeah, it was like it just like choked.
So he
and,
had
cut off.
like a physical, like the instrument of like a real whistle.
Oh no! Like his he was using his mouth like normal, but like he wasn't good at whistling, so it just kind of like sucked. And then someone next to him just like told him to shut up, and he didn't whistle for the rest of the movie. Thankfully. That would have been annoying. That's the kind of shit that like pisses me off. But yeah, I can understand. If I was in your theater, especially next to the dude you brought, I would have been really annoyed. The people I went with were thankfully pretty good about it. Although I will say, I don't know if this is a spoiler to mention like audience reactions, but if you just from here on out, if you don't want anything about Endgame spoiled for you, just stop listening. Come back to this after you see the movie.
It's been what? What has it been?
It's been the weekend.
No, I mean, it's been 18 minutes.
That's okay. So,
how about we postpone that?
Yeah,
till
I'll postpone
last
that. I'll
20
postpone
minutes.
that. I'll postpone
before
that.
the emails. Let's like signature off a 20-minute span of like we'll spoil this. You're good for now, audience.
You're good for now.
But until then,
if you haven't already checked out,
keep on your guard. Otherwise, we'll ruin a movie that you've been waiting fucking 11 years for. Let's not do that to people.
What was the discussion that Funhouse had about this?
Didn't watch it.
Well, Yaman, I didn't watch it either.
The clips that Yaman sent, I watched one of them.
It's exactly it. The one where they talked about how, are we ever going to get something like this again? Like, can you imagine anyone pulling this off again? Like, I can't even begin to think about what that would look like.
Do you remember when you saw the first Avengers movie?
I do. I remember it was I was a freshman in high school, and I had to drag some other friends along with me because no one gave a shit. No one gave a shit yet about the Avengers, and we showed up late to the movie theater, and it wasn't. This was like before reserved seatings became really popular, and we had to fucking sit in the front row. So I had my neck cranked the entire goddamn time I was watching the movie. So I had to go back and rewatch it again. But yeah, I do remember being in the theater.
I can't remember, honestly, if I saw it in theaters or if it was on demand. But yeah, I did eventually see that. It felt the same then as it did when I saw this movie. It was just like, what the fuck? It was just like insanity, absolute insanity. And,
I remember, yeah.
So I totally believe this is capable of happening again, and I understand Bruce Green of Funhouse's perspective of like, this isn't gonna happen again. This is like very special. Mm-hmm. I get that, but also like this is there's something down the line that will trump this.
I'm sure like eventually, but on this scale, I think it'll be incredibly difficult to do again because you have so many people in play after all these movies, right? You need to balance all of that. When you had the original Avengers, you didn't have as many characters to deal with. So it was like a relatively, I mean, back then it was insane to bring all those people together. But now it seems like the most basic shit in the world. So basic, in fact, that DC thought they could just rush their plan and just fucking put out a Justice League movie, and everyone would be like, oh my god, it's the Justice League. And that movie ended up bombing and was terrible because they didn't do any of the due diligence that Marvel did beforehand. So
no,
DC could have done it. DC easily could have done the same thing Marvel did. Like a Justice League movie should not exist right now. It is way too early. They should have done Man of Steel, a Batman movie. Fuck Batman versus Superman. Absolutely atrocious. No reason for that movie to exist. Wonder Woman, great. Shazam, even better. And then just
fucking amazing.
Exactly. And literally just bring an Aquaman. Aquaman was fun. It was whatever. It made like a shit ton of money, so I guess people like it. And then The Flash, I guess, is also getting a movie eventually.
Patrick Wilson or whatever, the guy from The Conjuring.
Yeah.
I like him.
Yeah. He's the villain in Aquaman.
He's a worm.
Yeah. And the effects in that movie were actually really good. Like all the underwater stuff I thought looked great.
It's a big fucking budget movie. Jesus
I love it.
Christ.
But you need a movie to set up all the individual characters. So when you put them together, you don't have to spend time developing like, oh, who's this dude or who's that? Because no one had to see an Aquaman before. Well, sort of in Batman vs Superman, I think. Like when they did the fucking like email attachment like video
where Lex Luthor set up it was like the fucking Amazing Spider-Man 2 Weekly Planet has his great video about it where it's just like, you know, walk in, pick up your supervillain backpack, and then you get your origin.
Yeah.
It was like you walk in and you get your fucking your superpower, and then you leave, and then you're like, now I'm a supervillain, or now I'm a superhero. It was very weird. Also, Lex Luthor in the files, he had literally logos set up for each of them. It was like, what the?
He got someone to like make graphic design for like all of those heroes.
Was it the end of Batman v Superman that it was the cutscene like it's a video game, but the scene with Deathstroke and no, it wasn't that.
It was Justice League, I think.
Justice League. Yeah. When Lex Luthor and Deathstroke are on the boat. Yep. Like the aft of a boat, and something about like a league of our own, and it was a very like let the games begin moment.
Yeah.
Which, if you don't know what I'm referencing, is the end of Dracula Untold.
Dracula.
Which has Charles Dance in the end credits, who is walking around in the modern day after you've just seen an entire sequence in Transylvania or whatever, where a young, you know, vampire is doing all sorts of things, and then it transfers at the end credits to Charles Dance, who is like supposed to be heading off the Dark Universe cinematic universe. And he walks towards camera and it says, "Let the games begin," or something like that. And it felt very much like that when Lex Luthor is looking at Deathstroke and he's like, "We need a league of our own." It's just like,
it's a very games begin moment.
Who would you cast as Lex Luthor if it was up to you?
Fucking not Jesse Eisenberg. I would have cast
Kevin Spacey.
He already was.
Was he really?
Yeah, in Superman Returns. That one-off Superman movie. Yeah. And I think he was good in it. I don't remember. I haven't seen the movie in a long time.
I don't remember at all. I remember that the other guy from the Superman, when he turns back time by swinging around the planet a bunch.
Yeah, Christopher Reeve.
Reeves.
Fuck.
And then that horse comes out of nowhere and just fucking kryptonites him.
Fuck. I literally just was reading something about this yesterday, that this person would have been a great Lex Luthor if they hadn't already used him in some other capacity. I don't remember who it was, though. I'm gonna look up like some Lex Luthor like fan casting right now because I'm kind of drawing a blank.
Giuliani.
Rudy Giuliani.
Yep. He's bald.
Yeah. Uh, that'd be funny. Oh,
Charles Xavier.
yeah. Michael Fassbender or James McAvoy
Really?
even. Yeah, I think so.
No. I for some reason I feel like
people said that the guy who played the villain in Shazam should have been Lex Luthor because he looks great bald.
I can see it, but for some reason in my head, the DC universe sort of lacks adults.
Yeah.
Like Ben Affleck doesn't feel like an adult, even though he is, obviously. I need old people.
Yeah.
Old people are menacing as fuck. I need a Lex Luthor who is old and like the chess champion of like I'm one step ahead of you, Superman, and you're a fool to combat me, and like all that shit. I need that in a Lex Luthor, and I didn't feel that at all with Jesse Eisenberg. Jesse Eisenberg felt like he was like, I've got you now, Superman. I was like, what the fuck? What?
I think
it was weird.
Do you think Bryan Cranston could be a good Lex Luthor?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Definitely. Bryan Cranston could. Behind a good writer, he could be incredible. What about you? What do you think would be a great Lex Luthor? I ask again.
I think one, you need someone who looks good bald. If they look like a
anybody can look good
doofus,
bald if you do it right.
Yeah, I mean these people have like fucking the best stylists in the world, so I'm sure anyone can pull it off. The most important thing you need that all these fucking DC movies need is just a good writer, like a good writing and a good story behind all of this. Because otherwise, like, why should I give a shit about Lex Luthor if he's just like the same old boring, like, I must foil Superman because he is very powerful and therefore could theoretically be a threat. Like the same, like,
if there's a 1% chance,
the same dumbass Batman logic he was like applying. Like, I need something more than that, you know? Like,
but it can be that basic if you break him down in the movie. I want it to start out like someone who is like looking to conquer like the threat to his empire and is eloquent and intelligent and everything like you'd expect from Lex Luthor. And then as he is foiled again and again throughout the film, you get towards the end where he's more and more frustrated and you break him down to like I want to kill Superman. Like, that is okay if it's the end game of him. But you can't start him out as Jesse Eisenberg, Lex Luthor, because he looks like a fucking fool.
I think you want to start off Lex Luthor as someone who's skeptical of Superman, who sees everything he's capable of, and, you know, finds that, like, understandably dangerous.
He needs to be a step ahead. He needs to be a step ahead because he's Lex Luthor. He's not just a fucking stooge who has these, like, impulses to do things. He looked like a fucking fool in Batman v Superman. He looked like the Riddler on crack. Like, he was just ridiculous.
But what's his motivation? Does he hate Superman? Is he in it for himself? Does he think he's the one who's actually serving the greater good? Like, what version of this, like, are we doing? Because that, like, changes my answer, sort of.
This is something that you should, like, obviously neither of us are super familiar with Lex Luthor as a character, but if Batman v Superman, I'm just going to call it BVS, because I feel like we're talking about it for a brick and a half, BVS had been what it needed to be, we would understand his convictions much more. All I got from that movie was, big bad man came from sky, and then I take him down. My dad ate crackers. I am Lex Luthor. Like, what?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
What I didn't understand about that movie was they made it kind of clear that he wasn't actually Lex Luthor. He was like Lex Luthor Jr. which was extra weird. Which means that, like, yeah, there's a reason this version of Lex Luthor is like weird as shit and totally dumb, because it's his son and it's not the same person. So stop getting mad, fanboys. But I'm just like, why even like make that connection in the first place? Now you're just like undermining yourself, saying like, yeah, you might hate this one, but don't worry, we killed off the one that could have been potentially good. And I'm like, why would you tell me that? Why would you say that? Yeah, we had this better character in mind, but he doesn't even
more interesting
exist.
character. It's like, what? He's dead. He's very dead. We killed him with all our might. What?
And like, he's got the fucking like Silicon Valley thing going on.
He does have
which
that,
is like fucking kind of overplayed at this point. Like bad tech man, evil. It's fucking okay. And then when he's in jail, he like shaves his head, and it's like, he's bald now. He really is Lex Luthor. And I was like, okay. He still looks really greasy and like.
Do they shave you
lame.
bald when you go into prison?
No, but he just did it. It's one of those fucking things where dramatic transformation because I'm in prison, so I gotta be a tough guy, so I'd shave all my hair off.
The same when Charles got baldified for Apocalypse's.
Yeah.
What? Like,
yeah,
what?
They didn't even. Was he bald?
I need to be bald in order to be a perfect being.
Yeah, I didn't understand that in the newer X-Men movies, but is he bald originally because his like psychic powers like prevent him from like growing hair or something? Or I don't understand.
Duh.
Actually, his hair is so matted all the time from wearing that fucking helmet thing. What's the big chamber room where he puts on the helmet and you can see everything?
Cerebro.
So yeah, his hair is so fucking matted from Cerebro all the time that he just decided to shave it off.
I feel like he doesn't wear that often, but
decent amount. Well, I don't. Maybe it does get in the way. That would make sense.
His hair?
His hair gets in the way of making direct contact with Cerebro. Do you think I'm right?
What?
Yeah. Why not? I'm just gonna look this up.
No.
I need a definitive answer. Why is Charles
What?
Xavier bald? Charles goes bald in
His hair
X-Men
does
Apocalypse.
not get in the way. Why can't you just have the simple, normal thing of like, oh, I'm balding at an early age. I might as well shave my head for, the sake of appeal.
Yeah, but they didn't do that.
No, they didn't. But why?
Yeah.
I like the new age movies. I like First Class. First Class is awesome. I like Days of Future Past. I really like that. Apocalypse is garbage. I'm assuming Dark Phoenix or whatever is going to be garbage.
Wait, I forgot how stupid this movie is. In X-Men Apocalypse, the reason he becomes bald is because when Apocalypse does the body transfer thing, the subject has to have a shaved head. So Charles loses his hair that way.
You forgot that? That was literally what I was talking about.
I forgot that entire movie. I was also reading while you were speaking, so...
When Apocalypse captures him, he puts him into like the Pyramid of Giza temple or whatever, and then locks him down onto like the like sort of stone bit thing, and then as Charles is being like, and then his hair is slowly falling off piece by piece, and then he's starting to like turn into Oscar Isaac, and it's like, what the fuck? And it's just garbage. That entire movie is crap. And actually, Michael Fassbender's Magneto bit, where he has a family, and that whole arc was actually pretty interesting.
Michael Fassbender's like the only interesting part of those X-Men movies.
I actually like the guy who plays Charles Xavier as Charles Xavier.
He's good. He does a good job, but I don't think like the story...
He works better as a young Charles Xavier. I don't want to see him in the chair.
Yeah.
When he's doing heroin to get his fucking spinal column back intact, that also takes away his powers or whatever.
It's weird how people are actually pretty positive on the X-Men movies for a bit, like First Class, Days of Future Past. Even the Wolverine was all right. And then Apocalypse comes out, and it wasn't even like offensively bad, but it was just like boring bad. And
No, it was
it just kind of
bad.
like,
You're stupid.
it like wiped away all that goodwill like immediately. And then Logan came out, and Logan was amazing.
Logan was amazing.
And Deadpool is also great in its own right, which is like it's on its own separate thing.
Speaking of Logan, James Mangold.
Great guy.
Speaking of James Mangold, Boba Fett standalone film. Speaking of Boba Fett standalone film, The Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about something good that's coming.
Did we talk about this a little bit?
I could not tell you
Last time.
No, I don't remember.
We did a little bit briefly, but I will say there was supposed to be a bunch of standalone spin-off movies before Solo happened. It's going to be an Obi-Wan movie.
Solo happened.
There was going to be an
Obi-Wan. I feel
Boba
like
Fett
it's still
movie.
in the works.
I don't know. I don't think so, but I hope so. That was like the one I really wanted to see. But
really,
yeah, man.
Above
like
everything else.
That mysterious period of where he's just like chilling on Tatooine, like what was he doing the whole time? You know, there's a great Star Wars Rebels episode.
Oh, it was really great. Yeah.
Yeah, where he, Darth Maul hunts him down.
Spoilers.
And spoilers for Star Wars Rebel, a children's cartoon that surprisingly has pretty important
not
plot
children's.
details.
It's a great cartoon. Don't be a fucking weirdo.
And they have their like little duel, and it lasts like 2 seconds. And
it was
Obi-Wan like cuts him in half.
amazing.
Yep. I really like that it wasn't like a drawn out thing. It makes a lot of sense.
It was a twist because you expect it to be a drawn out sort of duel, but
yeah.
Then Darth Maul comes in with all this fucking fury, and he maybe gets in 2 swipes, and even let's back up before that. Obi-Wan is standing there, and he's like staring him down. It's like a fucking samurai movie from the 40s. It's so cool. And both of them change stance like 4 or 5 times in complete silence.
I can imagine they're just both shifting back and forth like doing rock, paper, scissors.
It was amazing. It was like a chess match. It was so cool. And, they're changing stance back and forth. And then finally, Obi-Wan locks down, like, I'm going to do this. Where he has, like, imagine holding a flashlight, like, up to your ear as if it has a secret to tell you. And that's exactly what he holds his lightsaber up to.
He does the fake out, like, 2 fingers
the
pointing
2 fingers
at you,
thing.
and then the lightsaber back.
Which is a very Clone Wars Obi-Wan thing to do. But then he goes right back to, like, the, I've got, the secret to tell you lightsaber thing. And with both hands. And Darth Maul like goes into this furious stance. It was like he's ready to go, and then they both engage with Darth Maul going in, and it is just like 3 or 4 maybe strikes with Darth Maul, and then Obi-Wan blocks all of them with absolute finesse and splits Darth Maul's lightsaber down the middle, and just cuts him in 2, like down his torso, like not in half, but like slices him in the middle, and then
they can't show his body falling apart because it's on Disney XD.
It's a Disney property, and then you see his double-sided lightsaber just separate in between his hands, and then his lightsabers fall to his sides, and then he drops to his knees, and then he just falls into Obi-Wan's hands, and then they just have this back and forth. It's like, he's the chosen one. And then, yes, he is. And then, blah, blah, blah. It was just so personal, and it meant so much. And and the voice actors just, oh my God. Sam Witwer, and I'm not sure who did the job of an older Obi-Wan, but he did amazing. It was just so good. I don't know why I just gave that entire like fucking
no.
about that.
It's great. I like if you we've got people I know that have written in about the Clone Wars and stuff. So if you haven't seen the Rebels, I recommend it. It's not as good as Clone Wars, which makes it hard to recommend. But there are a lot of great moments and episodes. It is a sequel series, so you do get some familiar characters like Captain Rex. There's some clones and stuff.
So cool.
But it's like it is way more like kid oriented, which I don't like, and the animation is not as good.
It's really, really bad, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah.
In comparison.
Yeah, like it's incredible. Like Clone Wars is like 7 or 8 years older than the Rebels, but Rebels looks way worse. But if you can get past that and stick through it, especially the first season, which is kind of really bad, it gets better as it goes on, for sure. And the end of season 2 with Ahsoka is incredible. The end of the series is actually really good as well. It burns by quickly, so I recommend it if you need some like Star Wars fix. There's some like cool elements that they introduce as well. The Inquisitors, for example, that hunt down the Jedi for the Empire. We're going to see more of them in the new video game that's coming out, Jedi Fallen Order. So it's worth your time, I would say. It's not as bad as that Vader fangirl moment from the comics or whatever.
Jesus. That's a whole, like, God, I feel like I'm not in a state to, like, grasp it. Like, why the fuck? Why?
I keep seeing people give like takes on that, saying like it's like sexist and all this stuff, like really dissecting it. I'm just like,
it's just stupid.
But it's just dumb. Like it's just
bad and stupid and dumb. Like, I would have liked it to have ended with, not even ended, like it had been a short issue where like she sort of plays the Kylo Ren, not what's the word for the not duplicate, the like someone who is like playing the same part as another thing.
Oh, like the Kylo Ren archetype or whatever?
Archetype. And she just gets fucking her neck snapped in the first issue. And that's the end of it. I would want to see that, because that is exactly how Kylo Ren would have been treated by an Emperor-influenced Darth Vader. He would not give a fuck if you were his grandson. He would just be like, oh, that's neat. And then just, you're dead. He only started caring about Luke Skywalker when he thought that he could influence him to turn him over to the dark side and then throw over the Emperor and then rule the galaxy. He started to care about his son when he realized that, like, he was on his last legs, literally, after he got his hand cut off in Return of the Jedi when Luke threw down his lightsaber and was being tortured. It was not like, oh man, someone's a fan of me? Gee golly gosh. What a neat thing, circumstance. I better, care for this. It was not the case at all. He would have killed her. Also, the fucking instance when she just burst into his medical bay, and then the medical officer was caring for him. Was like, you fucking idiot, get out of here! You're gonna die. It was so weird.
It was both bad in that it was just a bad comic, and the way it's hard to talk about because the issues most people are taking with it are not like, oh, this is just like a bad story that's like pretty lame, like kind of dumb. They're like, the reaction to it is that everyone is treating this girl like poorly, and the way the story is written makes her look bad, and that's like sexist and wrong. But she should look bad. She's obsessing over a crazy murderer person, and her higher in command is like, hey, what the hell are you doing?
Well,
that's so fucking
she's
weird.
Also getting abused as well.
Yes.
But that's not unexpected of the Empire.
Yeah, I mean, well, abused how? What do you mean? Like,
that's I didn't read the comic, but that's what I read off of. Like, she was getting beaten and whipped and stuff. That's what I saw. Is that not the case in the Empire? I mean, not the Empire. The comic itself. I mean, you're more familiar.
I just read the panels that were the screenshots. I didn't see. I don't remember.
That's what part. The person on Twitter said. Like, she's being abused.
Oh, okay. I mean, this fucking delves into a whole realm of like.
The Empire is not shy to giving someone a cat of nine tails. For
the Empire is bad. I don't think it's surprising that the Empire would treat this girl poorly. I don't think that's the issue. My issue with this is that like the story is bad and like kind of cringy. I don't necessarily take issue with the politics of it.
If this ends in a really interesting way, then I'm all for it. But every single panel I've seen just looks so stupid.
Mm-hmm. And it's not in the main line of
mockery of like Darth Vader is like Abraham Lincoln or something like that's not what I mean. It's like being infatuated with Hitler. It's like what? What?
Exactly. It's not in the I don't think it's in the main line of Darth Vader comics. It's in Darth Vader Dark Visions.
And he's fucking canon, dude.
Yeah. I'm trying to... Yeah, so she, like, just falls in love with him. And, like, it's this weird thing. Whatever.
And it's confusing because some of the images that are in the panels are her fantasies. So, like, him dancing with her in, like, sort of a wedding dress-ish garb is, like you know, a fantasy, but then other images which are, you know, sort of similar are not, and it's like what?
Yeah,
it's hard to I should probably find the actual comic and read the whole thing through to decide for myself when I think of it, but based on everything I've seen, what?
I think I will say, actually, one of the criticisms I do see around this is that if it was written by a woman, it would have been much better, and I think I would agree with that, actually, because I think a woman writer could have written this in a more like nuanced and realistic way. So even if this character was like, you know, surface level uninteresting, I think a woman writer could have brought in like another perspective into this that at least explores that and explores like her situation, why that results in the way she is. You know what I mean? Like how like an abusive situation like that can create this like toxic like infatuation thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like just I'm trying to like squeeze out like some good out of this somehow.
I don't know who wrote it, but
it was some dude. I'm trying to.
I thought it was like
it's like some dude.
I'm probably associating with some. I've been watching a lot of Mr. Sunday movies, which is a thing you should definitely watch if you're interested in funny.
Love Sunday movies.
But I remember seeing something in between all those videos, and then, you know, a summary about this comic and something about Kathy Listen or something like that, and I associate them with the same thing. So I could be completely wrong, but it could be anybody, really.
It was Darth Vader.
You're really struggling to find this. It's a mystery.
I can only Google
a holocron that you're having to decode.
Here we go.
Here we go.
It was written by Dennis Hallam. So yeah, just some like random dude.
How do you know it's a dude?
Because I'm looking at a picture of him.
How do you know it's a dude?
I gotta do a pants check real quick. But yeah.
How do you know it's a dude?
Damn it!
I've got you every turn. But my point was before that I didn't make it all. I think regardless of whatever, any person could see this as like a lack of. For some reason, it felt like it was trying to do something, and it completely failed.
That's what I mean. That's why I think like a woman writer could have succeeded in that.
I'm not sure that's the case. Like, regardless of whatever,
I think you need that perspective. I think that's what was missing.
Is it?
I think so. Because dudes, I mean,
no. I know exactly what you mean, but also base concept. Darth Vader is human garbage. He's trash. he's a demon. He's the worst. He's the worst. He literally participated in the eradication of baseline. All we know, canon in the movies at least, he participated in the eradication of an entire planet. How are you able to, he's garbage.
Yeah.
Why? That's all I'm saying is why.
I'm curious, if you're listening to this and know more about this comic and like the context surrounding it.
If you wrote this comic and you'd like to comment.
Yeah, if you want to come on the show. Let us know what you think. 'Cause this is one of the things I actually would like to hear about other people's like points of view on. So, hit us up, prude@gmail.com, what have you. All right. Do we want to get into Endgame spoilers now that it's like 52, 53 minutes?
Before that, I'd like to mention that the clones that appear in Rebels are as follows. The episode features the return of clone troopers CT-7567 Rex, CC-3636 Wolf, and CC-5576-39 Gregor. I don't know why that was important for you to mention, but I thought it was interesting. Anyway.
Those dudes are cool. I like them.
Yeah. Spoilers for Endgame from hence on. I honestly am not in the spirits to go through everything we did on Xbox Live, but I will say,
I think we'll just talk about the ending mostly.
Totally, yeah. Sad, very sad.
What I wanted to bring up earlier was the audience reaction in my theater was people sobbing uncontrollably. Specifically, this one girl directly in front of me was like heaving when Tony Stark died, and like that whole funeral scene, which was incredibly moving. Man. I was really tearing up. That fucked me right up. The whole like, when Peter was like trying to talk to him and stuff as he was like dying, and then like Potts came in, like all that was incredibly hard hitting. They handled that, I would say, perfectly. It's the perfect send off for that character. And Yaman mentioned this as well, but like when he's talking to his daughter via like hologram, and he's like, "I love you 3000," like fucking gut punch. Like, you're not crying yet? How about now?
I didn't cry at all in this movie. I came close a few times.
Same. I rarely cry in movies. It's not a knock against
this. I cried a
lot
in Into the Spider-Verse, but I came close in this movie, and man, was it hard not to cry. Specifically, I tried not to cry and close my eyes, like just to like reload my eyes a little bit. Yeah. Like, just because I didn't want to have to cry and then have to rub my eyes and then put on my glasses again because I felt like I would miss something. So if I was going to cry, that meant if in regular circumstances I would have cried. So it is a very, very sad ending.
Yeah.
Cap's ending was like, oh, what the fuck?
Like, better than if they would have killed him.
Oh yeah,
I think.
I wanted more people to die, honestly.
Yeah. I mean,
it's Endgame, dude.
More people than I thought.
Widow and Tony and
Cap, sort of.
Cap's not dead.
I mean, but he's done.
He literally got the best of anybody in the entire Marvel Universe, which he got his entire life. He got to be jacked, and then he lived out his entire life with a total babe.
But I'm trying to think. Well, I have a few questions as to like where the Marvel universe goes from here that this movie kind of left.
Loki's alive for sure.
That is what I assume the Disney Plus thing is going to be about. When he grabbed the cube and just yeeted out of there.
He fucking yeeted indeed.
But there was a Black Widow movie coming out, but she's dead.
I feel like it's going to be set back in time.
I don't want it to be a prequel, though.
I don't give a shit.
That feels like so...
She's such an interesting character. Make her really interesting.
It just feels like, why give her a movie after the fact? You know what I mean? Like, she deserved it so long ago.
But
that now that she's dead, it feels a little backhanded to give it to her now.
Is it?
But yeah, this character deserved this movie like 10 years ago.
Deserved it. I would say that this character has had most of their most interesting adventures before the Avengers even. There's a lot of rhyming there and a lot of things that sound alike. But most of their most interesting adventures before the Avengers was even an idea. I would say that everything that happened in Russia, every, covert, dirty spec ops thing that her and Clint did, that is, leagues more interesting than any, Ultron crisis or whatever that could possibly happen. So I would love to see that above,
That is. But what I am trying to get at here is that kind of movie would have been great when she was still around. Because you see the Avengers and you're like, Black Widow is like, oh, cool. She's like cool in this movie, whatever. Then you go see her movie, learn more about her backstory. You get way more invested in her. That way, when you come back to Winter Soldier, Civil War, Avengers 2, whatever, you're like, I care so much more about this person.
Yeah, but who stays
now that she's
dead
gone,
in Marvel?
Loki's
literally backed by time travel.
But when it comes to movies, though, like, these actors are only going to do this for so long. That's why...
These actors.
Yeah. So, I mean, I would not be surprised if they find a way to bring Black Widow back somehow.
Not find a way. I mean, like, literally, like... Okay.
I mean, Bruce Banner literally... Well...
Also, my favorite version of the Hulk was this movie, by the way. It was
Professor Hulk.
Really,
was
really
great.
Cool.
Well, he made an interesting note when he said, I tried to bring her back too.
Oh, yeah.
Along with everyone else.
And I couldn't.
But he couldn't. But does he know that? What if she's just stranded on that planet or something?
It didn't
make
sense to me because Cap literally, like diddled the timeline by doing everything that he did. Why is it, off limits to him literally wielding the Infinity Gauntlet to bring back someone from the dead? Where's the fucking, the goalposts here? Like, what is the limit?
I can understand that you can't bring someone back
who has died
sacrificed
physically
for the stone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Oh, wait, no. Is it because of the limits of that, or because if you bring someone back who has been sacrificed for the stone, you will lose the soul stone because you brought back what you gave up?
I don't think that's how it works. I don't think that option even exists. But what I'm just thought about is when Steve Rogers is putting back the Infinity Stones in their timelines, meaning putting the Soul Stone back, on that planet with the Red Skull, wouldn't that somehow bring Black Widow back?
Also, I want to see that conversation. I want to see him talk to Red Skull. But even further, I want to know how Steve Rogers... Obviously, he went back to 1945 when he was about to crash the plane into the iceberg, and freeze himself and whatever. And did he snap the original Steve Rogers' neck and then just incinerate his body, or like he has to somehow? What did he do?
That's what I'm confused about. I think that Steve Rogers went on ice and just stayed there. That's like the easiest thing I could think of. But no one went looking for him because, he exists in the universe.
What?
Steve Rogers goes back in time, 1945, after his plane has already crashed and he's on ice. So all he has to do is just leave his other self buried in ice and then he can just continue to live on, and no one ever digs him out. That's like the easiest explanation I can think of. It does open a whole other can of worms, being like, and I was talking about this with my Kalina's roommate, who's into like the Tumblr side of the Marvel fandom.
Sounds like a fucking idiot.
Who was mad about that and all the other things that this movie did, whatever, even though she hasn't seen it yet.
Sounds like a genius.
But yeah, and this is also something we talked about on Xbox afterwards, is that you can poke a hole through so much of this time travel stuff, because time travel is like kind of inherently a contradiction. Like, it's impossible to create like a foolproof like time travel movie, and I know that's what people are going to like harp on. So it really just requires like a suspension of disbelief like thing. Just like literally don't think about it too much. And I know like that's shitty to say. Normally that's something you say about bad movies, that their plots don't make sense. But when it comes to a concept as like difficult already as like time travel, you kind of just have to go with it. That's like the one place I'll like, you know, not give anyone too much slack for. And I don't even remember how they explain it in the movie with like the diverging timelines and stuff. That's the one thing I do want to go back.
Professor Hulk does something about it. He was like, I tried to explain it over Xbox Live, but I was like, just way too focused on Halo 2.
Yeah. That's the one part I did not quite get. I feel like if I went back and watched it would make more sense, because I feel like this is maybe something the Russo brothers tried to think out, but because I remember him specifically saying the way people normally think time travel works is not correct, and that he explained something, and I was like, I kind of totally missed that.
If you go back in time and change something, you have created another like diverging timeline, or like you've created another, you know, existence, and then you go back to the place that you thought was your timeline, and it is now different. I thought there was something like that.
Yeah, because then when the Ancient One,
that was so cool, wasn't it?
Does that. She quite literally does the like a straight line, and then she's like, you pull away one stone and you're creating like another like timeline.
But basically. Then Banner's like, no, what we're gonna do is this, and then he like explains how he's gonna fix it, like he's gonna bring the stones back to the, you know, different bits. And it was like, oh, that might work. And I'm in the theater like, yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's like when you're like in class and like you barely understand a concept, and the teacher's like, do you get it now? And I'm like, just to not waste any more time, I'm like, yeah.
Or the smart kid is like, and I'm like, yeah, I agree. That's what I was going to say.
Exactly. So that I do need to go watch it again for that.
I don't want to do that though. I need some time. I need to think about this more, even though I really like remember very little of this movie.
I need to rewatch Infinity War and then see this movie immediately after. That's what I gotta do.
I was watching Infinity War before I came down here to record this.
Oh, okay. I mean, it's on Netflix, so like,
yep,
it's very easy.
Not for long. They're making their own streaming service.
Yeah.
And then fucking The Office is being ripped away from Netflix. Literally, the bare bones is going to be left. Like, what is left after that?
Umbrella Academy.
Oh yeah, that'll prop up the whole thing.
House of Cards.
Yeah, that'll prop up the whole thing.
Bunch of other shows that people watch. Apparently, every Netflix original movie you could ask for. All right.
But yeah, this is something that I want to watch again with like people, so I can like after every moment happens where like some curiosity occurs, I want to be like pause, like, all right, what do we think is going on here?
Yeah, that's what Yaman mentioned.
No, he mentioned that because he has no idea what the fuck is going on at all. But I mean, like, I have a baseline idea, and I'm still like,
what the fuck? Yeah.
Questions and emails.
Questions and emails. Want to shout out our new $5 tier patron, Sydney. She's great.
Fuck her. Fuck Sydney. But also, like, thank you, bro.
Thank you so goddamn much.
You're an entire hero.
As for that, I do want to get this one from Shaylee.
Jesus.
It's cool. It's not that long.
I'm going to do it.
Already.
I'm going to do it.
No, you absolutely suck at this.
No, I'll do it. I'll do it.
I said I would never email, but yet something came up, and I couldn't help myself. Starting the podcast from the beginning because I don't like starting things in the middle without knowing what was said in the past. I just got to episode 66, Patrick Learns to Read, where Alex is absent. Alex, I love you, but when Patrick and Yaman have no one to control them, it's a riot. And I can only assume Patrick is talking about him jacking off so much it gave him a bruise.
No.
I only assume because it was bleeped out badly. Anywho, the topic doesn't bother me. I'm an Australian. That kind of topic is tame here. But my grandparents had walked in, as he said. Also, they're old. One is German, and both are pretty conservative. He said that, and their reactions were hilarious. Though thought I'd share that with you. I don't know why.
You said I'm bad at this?
You're bad at this. Thought I'd share that. I don't know why. Probably because I just moved from one side of Australia to the other by myself. But hey, I'm bored. Also want to add, I accidentally called chicken breast chicken tits yesterday while I was at lunch, and it was funny. The waitress laughed, paid me, and then made me CEO of the restaurant. Patrick, I hope you do some more voice acting gigs because your voice is so different to what I've heard. I do theater for a living.
Thanks.
So that's why I say that. This statement is still weird, though. Oh, well. Anyways, have a ball and good day from Australia. Fucking love that.
That was really fun. But also, did you move from, like, you said from one side of Australia to the other. Did you move from, like, Perth to Melbourne or Melbourne to Perth? How did that work out for you? Anyway.
Really flexing your geographic knowledge of Australia there.
Grace Leonard. Problems I have with AJR. Featuring Spectrum Pulse and Brad Taste. Good thing he's not here because he hates us. And all of the fans, by the way. He hates all of you and he has no taste for your fucking commentary.
When I asked Yaman to be here yesterday, he said he couldn't record because it was Ethiopian Easter, and I thought he was fucking with me. But it's a real holiday that's actually today.
Give him an out. He hates all Jewish people. Fuck all of them. That is.
What does that have to do with Ethiopian Easter?
That is his quote. It has nothing to do with. Whoa! I found a beer opener.
Oh, good for you. Grace says, by the way, she sent some
I'm
video
reading
about.
This. Okay, by the way, unlike the guy in this video, I love AJR. I just wanted to say thank you to you guys for talking about AJ on the podcast. I've been sharing them with my friends, and we love all their music. I hope this email is not too long, and you have a marvelous day. Sincerely, Grace. There was a little ellipses, and I pressed it, and then it revealed who it was.
Incredible.
I assume this YouTube video link is to a song. I'll take your non-word for it.
This one is from Sydney. Hey, buckos. Is it lame that I'm finally getting my driver's license at almost 19?
I got mine at 18.
There you go. Do you really get it so late?
Yep.
Huh. Also, I've been trying to lose weight for the longest time, and I'm finally getting results. Once I get my license, I'll be able to go to the gym on my own schedule. Right now, I'm only able to go twice a week with my aunt. Anyways, love you guys. Have a great day/night, and have a pic of my oldest good boy, Tamak, looking very awkward. Oh, he looks shy. Why does he have a raccoon tail? This is a great dog. I love him. It is not lame.
You have a dog called Tupac?
Tamak. T-E-M-O-C.
You have a dog called Tupac?
I hate you. What was the fucking thing you sent yesterday? Lee Harvey Oswald or something? Lee Harvey Jenkins?
That was. I mean, I feel like we established it was somebody else, not me.
Yeah, some fucking weirdo. Glad you're getting your license. That's a great life step forward. Don't let anyone give you shit for it for getting it late. Better late than never. So, fuck everyone else. This one is from McKaylee, who previously, if you might recall, her shitty teacher did not let her get into the variety hour at school because she was being a real fucking stickler for getting the paperwork in. She was a real hypocrite because she let other kids, she liked to better turn it in late and not McKaylee. So fuck that guy or woman. Hey dudes, if y'all don't remember my last email, my teacher wouldn't let me do the variety show, as I was just saying. but I guess my dad overheard me joking with my friends about how they should email her. Because he did. The teachers met with me the Monday after I emailed y'all, and they let me back in. It's tonight. I'm really excited. Okay, bye. Have a good week. Good luck with finals if you haven't taken them already. This email's like 3 days old, so I hope your variety show went well, and I hope that teacher, you know, had a little accident. You know, who's to say? I hope their lesson is learned. And I think, man, you like fucking bury all the emails if they're like even slightly too long. Now I gotta go dig. Let me see. Oh no, that's Lee Harvey Dent. I don't want to fucking read that from that weirdo. This one I think is interesting. It's from Gerald. I listened to your episode, Why Do We Exist? And I just wanted to answer your question of why do we care about little things like gender, labels, and death? So this is something, you know, we talk about a lot on here for some reason. Even though I don't believe that these things matter all that much or that it's necessary, I will say that these things are part of human culture and society. The arbitrary rules that we make for gender expression and rules on sexuality and marriage, rules on violence and who rules who, this is all part of culture, determining social norms, values, and material culture, which is what makes us human and the so-called intelligent species. I agreed with what a lot of you guys said on this episode, but I just wanted to kind of shed the scientific, anthropological light on your critique on why humans are the way we are. I love the show. I've heard like every episode, and I can't wait to see where you guys go from here. Thank you for your time. Gerald. P.S. Gerald also says he's low-key a hippie, but also low-key a science nerd, so I believe that we know of science is just what we've observed in the ways that we can naturally and mathematically. However, there is underlying mysticality to the universe that can be observed from the lens of science. It makes up for a lot of the holes and ambiguity in scientific explanation, in my opinion, but that's just what I've experienced in my spiritual and scientific investigations. Thank you. This guy is the one who's going to fucking figure out time travel, isn't he?
He's time travel? What? He's gonna figure it out.
Hey, new email from Patrick Charlton.
It's weird.
Weird. Oh, sorry, it's Lee Harvey.
There you go.
I was, dyslexic, so I can't read. Hey guys, I can't let my feelings go unheeded any longer. I want to rip open Barney the Dinosaur's asshole and shove myself deep inside. I'm sorry if this is too personal, but yeah, Lee Harvey Dent. I would say go for it. I don't think there's anything wrong with your desires, and you shouldn't let anyone shame you for loving who you want to love. And that's what I have to say. Why is my voice cracking like a fucking leaky roof?
I don't know, but it makes it so much better. Whoever Lee Harvey Dent is. All right, we've had enough of your practical jokes. We'll hear no more of your nonsense.
Quit fucking around, guy. All right, that's that for this week. I do want to shout out our Patreon patrons before I lose my voice completely. We got Brianna, Cassidy, Chelsea, David, Aaron, Everso Joe, Jesse, Kane, Amaldo, Marianne, Monty, Rebecca, Sydney, Tara, that loser Travis, Vanessa, and Jessica. Thank you all so much for being incredible patrons. I love all of you so much. Love all you so goddamn much. I want to
come all over myself.
Just give you a good pat on the back and tell you, you're doing great.
My cap would. If he hits the bone structure to do it anymore.
If you want to become a Patreon yourself, you can go to patreon.com/prudedudes and give us your Bitcoin. Give us your schmeckles. Give us your loose
dirty,
buttons
rusty
and bottle caps. Thank you for being amazing.
Thank you for being amazing, bro.
If you want to send us an email, it's prudedudes@gmail.com. Send us the arts, send us the questions, send us the comments, whatever you got. If you want to call us idiots, please do.
If you want to send the most cursed fucking email in the universe, where it's like what fucking Lee Harvey Dent usually sends us, that depraved freak, if you want to do so.
If you want to send us a photo of like mayonnaise on rice or something nasty like that, go for it.
Even worse, if you please. like fucking She-Hulk blowing Thanos.
That's not that bad.
No, it's not actually.
I'm pretty desensitized.
I'm honestly pretty centered on fucking Infinity War and Endgame at the moment.
I saw someone. There's this awful Twitter video of someone who had a long sleeved hoodie on, and they were washing their hands. And they didn't roll up their sleeves, and they were just fucking washing their hands all over like their sleeves, and it was the worst shit I'd ever seen in my life.
Is it really?
Yeah, it was bad.
Dude, you're really, really
bothered
sad.
me. It's hyperbole, bitch. I'm joking. Anyways, follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Prude Dudes. Follow us on our individual accounts. I'm at AlexPenda97. Patrick's at Patrick Schulter5 and Yaman is at Papa Yums.
Are you circumcised?
What is this, Joe Rogan? Like just asking.
Are you circumcised?
Are you circumcised?
Yes.
I'm not circumcised.
If I used this bottle opener on my wiener, do you think I'd just pop it off?
Anyways, thanks again for listening, guys. See you again next week.
Bye! 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 Bye!